Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel, and this is a very unique open box different from any Arrma Kraton 6S that you have ever seen. So, stick around and check out what's amazing about this super Arrma Kraton 6S open box. This is one special limited edition. In fact, it is so limited that there is just only one made like it. Can you believe it? Hey, I'm just kidding, of course no stock Arrma Kraton 6S comes like this out of the box. All the upgrades that you will see are purchased and put together by me. Now you may be thinking it looks just like a stock Kraton 6S from outside the body cover. But wait, hold on, and you will get to see the real deal of what's under the body. Oh, wow, that looks very interesting. Wow. It appears to have a lot of upgrades. I wonder what's all the upgrades with this super machine monster. Well, first let us check out the all-aluminum gunmetal shocks. I had to say that I'm really impressed with how much stiffness the shock can be adjusted by how much oil is put inside. If I really want the shock to be stiff that it will not bottom out, all I had to do is fill the shock oil all the way to the top. The more shock oil is filled to the top, the more the shock will become stiff and not bottom out. The shock does not have a bleed hole in the top of the shock cover, and I think that's what makes the shock able to adjust how much stiffness and bottom out you want depending on how much shock oil is filled. Also, the springs are a bit stiffer than the stock ones. Together combined with the shock and springs, this is one major upgrade that I cannot complain about. Also, the stock shock standoff mount is replaced with the hot racing steel M4 mounts, making it even stronger and less likely to bend. The front steering knuckles are now replaced by Treal all-aluminum block, as you can see here. Now the steering knuckles are really solid with no or minimum play. Before, with the stock knuckles there was a noticeable amount of play. It's also got front aluminum and stainless steel adjustable steering tie rod. These tie rods are really thick and solid compared to the stock ones. Now the steering has a much stronger and reliable rod. It's also got aluminum steering bell crank set and aluminum rack servo saver, which is a must. The rear upper arm tie rod links are made by GPM all aluminum and stainless steel, and again they are much thicker than the stock and are much stronger, making it more reliable. The rear knuckle hubs are all aluminum by AllinRC. I now noticed that the hubs are really solid with minimum or no play compared to the stock ones. It's got a 9i mod 55 kg high torque steering servo with full metal gears and aluminum waterproof case. I was impressed with how much torque the servo has, but after many runs, I noticed that the servo is slow and not fast enough. The servo now is replaced with the Perfect Pass Monster 56 kg brushless high torque servo, and I noticed that this servo is pretty strong and faster. The steering servo mount is replaced with the Hot Racing all aluminum mount. It also has a ShareGoo metal servo horn and arm. It's got both front and rear aluminum gearbox case by AllinRC, which made the differential and bearings very snug with no play, and shims are not needed. This is a must upgrade if you're going bash your Kraton hard. It's got aluminum front and rear chassis brace by UURCSKY. It's got both aluminum front and rear lower suspension hanger mounts by AllinRC. It's got aluminum wheelie bar with bearings by XSYGO. It's got both front and rear chassis skid plate by RPM. It's got both front and rear A-arms by RPM. Now I have seen and heard that while the stock A-arms are pretty strong but a bit stiff, and during a hard impact or landing it is prone to breaking. But these RPM A-arms are not as stiff and has some flex to it, so during a hard impact it is not likely to break. It's got the Kraton EXB front bumper, which is better than any I've seen on the Kraton 6S. It's got the dual cooling fan 27,000 RPM with heatsink by Emiho. I got to say, this dual cooling fan is blowing really hard and loud. Usually, I would run it with just one fan, and it will keep the motor cool enough. It's got the full aluminum differential spool lock and motor mount set. After some hard runs, I noticed that my rear differential spur gear is stripped. I believe this has to do with the spool lock being too hard on both the front and rear diffs, so I got the rear diff spur replaced and switched the spool lock back to the stock differential and changed the oil to 500K, and it seems to be running fine. Also, I noticed the truck is less prone to backflip during hard acceleration. but with the spool lock the truck is prone to backflip during hard acceleration. Also with the spool lock, I can never keep the set screw and pin screw to hold the spur gear adapter for the center spool shaft. No matter what Loctite or super glue I use, it just won't stay locked but always come loose. For my radio, I use the RadioLink RC6GS V37 channels. At this price for $80, I got to say this radio got more functionality than most radio I see for similar prices. It's got 25 options function with advanced features. For my battery, I use 2Z3S 10,000 mAh 120C LiPo. I got to say these 3S 10,000 mAh LiPo really got some good running time. Usually with just these 2 packs will do for the day. I also use the Z-Shorty 6S 5200 mAh 120C LiPo and am happy with the performance and runtime. Here in this video, I have done a thoroughly research for all the major upgrades for you so that you won't have to do it yourself. You can find down the description all the links for all the parts in this video. I hope this video is informative and helpful for you. If so, would you please consider subscribing to my channel as I have many videos like it and much more to come. Thank you. Now let's turn on the beast and hear it for the first time. Wow, the dual fans are really blasting air and loud. Okay, let's take it for some run and bashing and see what this Super Machine Kraton 6S can do.